Yeah, hi friends. So I welcome you all to this amazing chapter in Fundamentals of Organization Behavior. So continuing ahead from the introduction part, which we started from the series of one of the most favorite management topic, that is decision making. So I will take you further from the introduction, which we already discussed, and how it affects in our daily life and hugely impacts our daily life. Basically, we are going to discuss different stages of decision making. What are the factors which we need to take into consideration while making a decision? And it also applies to all the spheres of specter. Like it's not just restricted to medical, management, business, or manufacturing, or any decision in our general day to day life. So I welcome you all again to the second module of Fundamentals of Organization Behavior, that is decision making. So, as we discussed, like decision making is a huge and very interesting topic in management, one of the most favorite topic discussed. So, there are decisions which we are making continuously, being aware and unaware about these decisions on a daily basis. Also, so decisions have to be made by managers at all levels in any organizations. And some decisions may point an organization in an entirely new direction. So just to give you an example, as I've already discussed, like selecting a stock. If an investment analyst wants to select a stock, so he or she would need to analyze some factors how he will come up to that solution. So basically, either the problem will be given or we have to identify the problem. We have to identify the gap where the gap is, or sometimes the problem will be very evident. So decisions have to be made by managers at all levels in all or any organization. Some decisions, as I discussed, we may point organization is an entirely new direction. Then the next stage, which we're going to see, is basically clarification of the problem. Now, for example, if I say like there is a medical group who decides that they are too conservative in approach for regards to money management. They may be providing best medical services to its patients or consumers, but they may be not good enough in money management. So this is the problem they have identified. So they have clarified, they have refined the problem, and they have come up with this statement that yes, we are lagging in the money management department in our hospital or our medical practice. So the next stage which you're going to discuss is finding creative alternatives. So what is this stage? Basically, in this stage we have to look for some creative alternatives, all kind of possibilities existing, and we have to look it into various perspectives, new perspectives, fresh ideas. We just can't be rigid here. We have to be flexible, we have to be agile, and we have to have different approaches here. We have to every possible solution, it may be extreme, wild, and we have to come up with various approaches here. And then after giving multiple options, then we have to weigh those alternatives. Definitely we have to weigh in those alternatives, whatever we have given, with the positives as well as negatives, whether there's a pros or cons of each alternative. Then we make the choice depending on variables which I will discuss in the future chapter in the module. And then evaluation of the problem, assessing the problem and its effectiveness, how the decision is measured in that sense. So this is very important. So now in this stage, in the initial stage, we have a problem. Either the problem is a given or we have to find the problem with the help of gap. Once we identify the problem, we have to clarify the problem, like what exactly we are looking, what is the main core of the problem, what is it trying to say, or where is the gap, where is the pain points of that problem. And then we will refine that problem by various research and analysis, and we'll come up with a statement like yes, this is exactly our main purpose of solving that problem, which will be helpful and provide creative alternative solutions. Now, to come from problem to solution, we have to go through various stages, like finding creative alternatives, as we discussed, finding multiple options, how we can go through that based on certain variables which we'll discuss, weighing those alternatives, like what are the factors, like what are the positives or the negatives of each alternatives that you have discussed. So we have to come up with that. They may totally have a different kind of impact, so we have to analyze with our understanding, depending on various intervening variables, how we are weighing the alternatives and then making the choice. It is also dependent on the variables. And then finally, evaluation is also very important. Like what effectiveness of the decision it is having, assessing the effectiveness of the decision is also very important. So now coming to the major part of decision making, intervening variables. So what are intervening variables? Intervening variables are like, so we can say, uh, there is an individual and he or she has a capacity to find or discover a problem. So there are wide range of factors. These same factors are closely related to his capacity to make decisions. So like every individual will have their own upbringing, culture, background, thinking, perspective. According to that, he or she makes the decision. So we will see what are those intervening variables which are defining the decision making. So guys, this is very, very important. This is basically used in various management programs and is helpful in business, medical, manufacturing, in every sphere of our life. The first is adequacy of available information. What is adequacy of available information? What is the data? From which data he is or she is analyzing the problem? Is it easily accessible to him or her, or is it relevant? And is the information vital? Then he or she can be in a good position to find problems and make decisions. So, availability of adequate information is very important. For example, now a manager carefully just sees the data for population trends and which may affect his business of home furnishing. Now he noted that in the census many young women are staying single. They are not getting married early, so there is a market here where the females are looking for a furnished flat, so he can pitch in his home furnishing business to those kind of audience, target audience. And it will be a very you know this is because he analyzed the data. The information was available to him. He did a campaign, marketing campaign directed towards single women. Similarly, these kind of things may happen. So, this is important, adequacy of available information. The next is intelligence, education, and experience. So, these are the basic fundamentals, like we have seen a person having a open mindset, having a better education, understanding of things, and experience. Experience play a major role here to analyze and make decisions, personality characteristics. So even education and intelligence sometimes help us to find root cause analysis, like why. If a, if we are saying that this is the approach we are going to take, why we are saying that. If there is a problem, what is the root cause of that problem? Ask like why it is like that. Keep on asking until you come to the root cause of that. So this and all will come with your education and experience. And some of is also the next is personality characteristics. So there are certain traits. Every individual is unique. So there are certain personality characteristics. So we are born with some characteristics, and it keeps on. Some may change, but there are some basic fundamental traits which we are born with, and we have that natural tendency, to we make kind of decisions in our lives. So there are certain traits and behavior characteristics which can influence our ability to find problems and make solution. And the other thing is insights and intuition. So everything cannot be relied entirely on insights and intuition, but yes, it's called a hunch, but we need data as well. There are also some emotional decisions. It's not always the data. There is intellect, there is reasoning, and there is emotions which are involved into making decision making. And sometimes there are some uncontrollable, unpredictable factors. We can say. So as we discussed, there are multiple things: insight and intuition, and emotional factors. Sometimes the decisions are not entirely made on reasoning. There is an emotional nature involved. Sometimes a company wants to do a charity, they want to do some social cause. So based on that they want to make a decision. It's not entirely based on out of profit. And there are some disorders faced by people, and they're not able to operate properly in their workday lives. So that is more of a compassion for more of a compassion for the victim. So here it is not entirely made on a profit basis, but it's more of an emotional decision which we come up with. We have seen these kind of decisions which have been made by companies, and sometimes there's a huge insight and intuition, and it's basically like to find something which is not already existing. So it's more of an intuition, feelings, we can say. And as we discussed, sometimes personality character, like some person may be a scientist, he has been given a task, like you have to come up with this analysis, and the person sometimes can be too perfectionist that he is not able to come up with anything, because he's just thinking like he will look for the best solution or the best outcome. But it's unless and until he will start doing that, he cannot come with a perfection. We have to be agile. We cannot be rigid. We cannot be a rigid mindset person. So if a person or a politician or a leader or a decision maker is having a rigid kind of mindset, so he will make decision policy on policies and on a rigid basis. It will not be flexible. So we have to see like what is the characteristic or the trait of a person who's making the decision. Is he a rigid person or is he a flexible person? So these kind of personality traits also have an impact on decision making. So finally, based on these variables, we make decisions. So let me know how you like the topic, and we will come up with more of these. Also, we are also providing these management courses offline. We can connect. You can connect with me on phone number 6283720458, and email us sales at the rate cornerstoneadvinfo.com. You can also visit our website, and we are available on YouTube as well. You can just contact us for any guidance or assistance to get more updates on these management courses, and we will be providing you with your creative innovation approach. So I thank you all. Thank you for joining.